Dual Powerbomb issue number 7 from Image Comics. This is the final issue of this miniseries. So in the last issue, they lost their match. Well, actually, they lost their match in the issue before last. So 2 issues ago, they lost their match in the finals. But because their opponents ended up killing themselves, battling each other, Lona and Cobrasun were granted the title as a default. So they won the tournament, even though they technically lost it. And then the necromancer told them that, hey, I don't have the power to bring your mom back, but I have an offer from someone. Like, if anyone can bring your mom back, it would be him. And it turns out that their opponent is God. So yeah, that's who the opponent was that I was saying there's no way they can beat him. Because, it's God. How are two humans going to beat God in a wrestling match? So that's what most of this issue is. It's them fighting God. And of course, as a necromancer is announcing God, and then he announces Cobrasun and Luna as Sun and Steel, he gives them the attire that they wore when they were a tag team together. So Lona is now wearing her mom's uniform. And Lona goes in first, and God just beats the absolute crap out of her. And then Cobrasun tries to fight him, and he gets the absolute crap kicked out of him. Like, he gets hit by the Tiger Driver 98 and almost gets a 3 count when Lona jumps in with a diving front drop kick to the back of God's head to break up the 3 count. And then God hits her with the crucifix bomb. And basically God's just beating the absolute crap out of them. Lona is able to hit a top rope cutter onto God. And then Lona and her father are able to hit their double team move, which is like a doomsday device. Only instead of Cobrasun just kind of dropping his opponent, he actually follows through with the power bomb. So it's a clothesline powerbomb combo, which actually looks pretty cool. Is there anyone that does that in real life? I know people who do the blockbuster powerbomb combo. I don't think I've ever seen a clothesline powerbomb combo. I've seen just the clothesline off of someone's shoulders, the doomsday device, obviously. And I've seen the powerbomb blockbuster combo, or if you want to call it the powerbomb front flip neck breaker, which is the blockbuster. I've seen that. I haven't seen a clothesline powerbomb, but they only get a 1 count. And basically, God starts bleeding through his mask, but then God eventually just hits them with a top rope, one-wing angel in a sense, and covers them for the 3. So they lose again. And here's one of my complaints that I had in the last issue, where I said I assume they're going to lose against their opponent. If they're going to be facing off against God, there's no way they can win. So they're going to lose. So it's weird that they lost the tournament and then win on a technicality and then go to face God. And then they kind of win on a technicality again. And by that, I mean, so God beats them, but he tells them, hey, it's been so long since any human has caused me physical pain. And since you were able to get me to bleed, I present to you the God belt as a symbol, not of your victory, but of your ability to go toe-to-toe with me. So they kind of, quote-unquote, win in a sense. Like, they don't win the match, but they kind of win in spirit, whatever you want to call it. And my thing was, you can't do that twice, back-to-back issues. It just doesn't work. So they should have won the tournament. They should have won the tournament against the Necromancer if they're going to lose the final match against God. But because you had them lose, and then they win on a technicality, only to then fight God and then lose again, only to win on a technicality, you're repeating yourself. You're repeating the same plot that you just did. So it doesn't work for me. I would have had them won the final tournament match and then lose against God, so that their very first loss is the one that truly mattered. Except their first loss didn't matter because they win anyways. So you see where I'm getting at with this? But yeah, Lona says, I don't want the belts. I just want my mom. So God gives her a memory that she had, and she only remembers part of the memory, which was a conversation she had with her mom when she was young. And they shared the entire conversation. She gets to remember how the entire memory went. And she's kind of happy with that, in a sense, like her and her dad hug. And watching from the crowd is her mom. So her mom's in the audience watching. And I'm just like, well, couldn't God just be like, hey, here's your mom in the crowd. Why don't you go talk to her for a little bit? Like, I can't bring her back, but you can at least say your goodbyes and whatever you want to tell her. Like, that would have been nice. But instead, no. I guess you get a bittersweet in the fact that the mom gets to watch her in a match and gets to like witness her growing up and stuff like that, and be proud of her. So I guess there's that. There's also a nice little cameo from Jake from Murder Falcon. He's in there. He's in the crowd as well watching. So that was kind of a nice little cameo. But yeah, I will say this. Overall, I enjoyed the hell out of this series. I thought it was great. The artwork was fantastic. I love just the over-the-top premise. I mean, of these people like fighting in a wrestling tournament against like aliens in a sense. Because I say aliens because I mean they're from other planets and dimensions and stuff. So yeah, they get a fight against aliens to win the life of their mom, or her mom, his wife. They eventually get to fight God as the final boss. So that seems like something straight out of like a Japanese video game, like just something really weird and out there. So I enjoyed that. I will say though that I didn't like the fact that they lost twice, because I don't mind that they lost. It's just the fact that you did it twice. You had them lose twice, and then they kind of get a technical win or a spiritual win in God's match, a spiritual win, I guess. It's like you did that twice, back to back. So I didn't like that. Just do it once. I'm kind of repeating myself at this point, but yeah, have them win the tournament. Maybe they just barely pull it off, but they barely pull off. In fact, I would have had them win the tournament with their finisher move, because now they hit their finisher move here, and it's supposed to seem like some kind of big deal, but it doesn't really, because this is the first time that they've hit that move. Yes, it was the move that her mom used to do with her dad, but this is the first time she's hitting it with her dad. If they had hit that move to win the tournament and then hit the move and only get a 1 count against God, then that would have been like even better of an impact. Like, oh my God, the move that her mom and her dad used to do that always won their matches, the move that her and her dad did to win this match, this tournament, is now a move that can't even get a 1 count against God. There's nothing else we can do. Like this was our big move. We've done everything else that we can. This was supposed to be like our last resort, and it didn't even get us a 2 count. What do we do now? And then God beats them. Like, that would have had more of an impact, but you didn't do that. You had them do the move for the very first time, and then you made it seem like it was some kind of big deal, only for God to kick out at 1. So yeah, I would have done things a bit different. I would have had them win the tournament with the move, and then they're like, excited, like, hey, we won. We get to finally get our mom back, or your wife. I keep saying our mom. I get my mom back, and then the necromancer is like, hey, like, I'm glad you won. I can't bring her back. Like, I can if I had the power, but I don't. I can only bring her back, like, as a zombie right now. So, but your winning will impress God so much that he wants to fight you in a match. And if you win against God, then hey, God's like all powerful. He's going to be able to bring your mom back. And so they fight God. They hit their move. God kicks out, and then that's when they realize, damn it, there's nothing we can do. It's God. We're not going to be able to win this. That would have been better, in my opinion. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Do you agree, disagree? I didn't like the fact that they pulled the same thing twice. They lose the tournament, they lose the match officially, but then they win on a technicality. So they won the tournament. Well, they lost the tournament, but they technically won because the winners, the true winners, ended up killing themselves. They lose against God, but they won spiritually because they got God to bleed, and he was impressed by that. So it's like, it would have had more of an impact if they didn't lose twice, if they just lost the one time, if the only time they lost in this entire series was the last final battle against God. But because they lost already beforehand, the loss doesn't really mean anything. The superficial win doesn't really mean anything. It's just kind of, it doesn't have much of an impact. Them hitting their tag team move for the first time, only for God to kick out, doesn't really mean anything. It would have had more of an impact if they've used that move before and won with that move. So yeah, I will say that it was a great series with a okay ending, I guess. I don't know. I felt once they lost their first match, it just didn't really stay at its peak anymore. Like this was like a 9-10 series, and then once they lost the actual tournament, but then won on a technicality, it kind of brought it down to like an 8. And then now that they lose the final match but win on a superficial technicality, whatever, then it's kind of like I don't want to drop it another point, but it's just like you're doing the same thing you just did. It doesn't work for me. But overall, I do enjoy this series. I do recommend checking it out. Like overall, I thought it was awesome. It kind of lost me a little bit towards the end. But there you go. There's do a Powerbomb. You tell me if you disagree. And I mean, it's completely fine. Like everyone has their own opinions. That's just my opinion. I don't know. You agree, disagree with it? How would you have done it? Or do you like the way that they did it? But there you go. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what did you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.